Welcome to Interdependent Study. I am your host and accountability buddy, Kimberly Logan. It is Monday, December the 28th, and today we are continuing with chapter 3, 2, 1, no. Why Aren't You Meditating is the name of the chapter, but I've forgotten what number they call it. Where are we? Chapter 3. Just sit, no matter what. And it actually coincides perfectly with the coming new year, as we are going to be discussing an 8-week process to get started at meditating every day. But first, we will start on page 56 with no shortcuts. Getting started is the most difficult step in developing any type of habit, not just meditation. So, keep it simple. Try starting small by gently asking yourself to take a deep breath every time your phone buzzes, or every time you get up from your desk chair. If you're like me, your phone never buzzes because you turned off all the notifications and you hate those interruptions. But I do get up from my desk chair quite frequently. Next time you fill up your car, take 5 belly breaths as you pump the gas. Meditation isn't hard. Learning astrophysics is hard. Doing aerial flips on a balance beam is hard. Winning the Tour de France is not hard. I lied. Winning the Tour de France is hard. Meditation is pretty easy. If you can breathe, you are halfway there. Of course, there are a few tricks to make it even easier. Show up, and show up. If you want a better life, then be better at showing up for it. Don't be a doubting Thomas. We are a results-oriented culture. We want numbers and data and proof. But not all aspects of meditation are this tangible. You can't measure the results or benefits or changes in the same way that you can with diet and exercise. Yes, scientists and doctors are analyzing all sorts of physical results, and the studies are phenomenal. But unless you're going to get monthly MRIs and have your blood pressure checked on a daily basis, you probably won't be doing any measuring. Instead, you will notice that you have handled a situation completely differently from the way you handled it last time it showed up in your life. Those types of results and benefits aren't very measurable, but they're really what meditation is all about. So let's make it sticky. First, one day at a time. Meditate today. That's it. Second, pick a time each day, and then pick something you already do, like brushing your teeth. For the next week, after your choppers are cleaned, take 10 minutes, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Do it twice a day if you can. Third, keep going. If you miss a day, so what? Just start again. Which brings us to our boot camp. Discipline is something we develop. If you haven't been building it, you can't pull it out of your back pocket. That'd be like running a marathon when you haven't run around the block in 10 years. You might be able to do it, but it would suck, and chances are you wouldn't try it again. Instead, the next time it was required of you, you'd say, "Oh, me, no, I don't have that kind of discipline." Of course you don't. You haven't done the work. Until you make meditation a priority, there will always be something else you could be doing. So don't wait for all the doing to be done and all the lists to be checked off, because there is an endless supply of them. Discipline is all about showing up at the cushion, even when you're tired, sick, grumpy, or just don't want to. Show up for any amount of time. Show up with any kind of attitude. Even if you show up and all you are thinking about is how you don't want to meditate today, just shut up and observe your negative thoughts that are on a loop. Which brings us to make it doable. Just sit for 8 weeks. Sometimes in life, it's easier to have a plan. For a lot of people, 8 weeks seems to be a golden number because it's enough time to get going and feel some results. It's kind of like pre-season for meditation practice. It's light and easy, and most important, it's doable. The Just Sit 8 weeks to build a practice. Week 1. Every breath you take. Focusing on the breath. Keep it simple. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Inhale and exhale, and when your mind starts to wander, come back to the breath. Set your phone alarm for 3 minutes and stop when it goes off. Don't do more than that. This is training, not a competition, even with yourself. Helpful hint. We suggest linking the time of day that you do this to something else that you already do. For instance, sit for 3 minutes while your coffee is brewing, or as previously noted, tie it to brushing your teeth, or as I like to do, while my tea is brewing, because I don't like coffee. Thank you very much. After sitting, take a moment to write down what you experienced or didn't experience in a notebook with the time and date. Sit for 7 days straight. But if you miss a day, don't worry about it. Just start over at day 1 of week 1. Once you reach 7 days in a row of 3 minutes a day, move on to week 2. Week 2, add them up. 4 minutes a day. Counting the breaths. Slowly count to 4 as you inhale, and slowly count to 4 as you exhale. With each count, touch your thumb to your pointer finger, then your middle finger, then your ring finger, and finally your pinky. That's it. Then do it again and again. Your mind will wander, so start over at number 1 and your pointer finger when it does. Helpful hint. Notice if you are rushing the count and slow it down. There's no finish line here. Again, after sitting, take a moment to write down what you did or didn't experience with the time and date. Do this practice for 7 days straight. But if you miss a day, don't worry. Start over at day 1 of week 2. Once you reach 7 days in a row, move on to week 3. Trust your gut. We're now up to 5 minutes a day. Deep belly breathing. Place your hands on your stomach, and as you breathe in, feel your stomach expand. As you breathe out, feel your stomach contract. Use your physical stomach movement as your anchor. When your mind wanders, let the feeling of your hands on your stomach bring you back to your breath. Helpful hint: if you find this exercise uncomfortable, hold a small pillow against your stomach and use that as your anchor. After sitting, take that moment, write down your experience, or lack thereof. Do this for 7 days straight. If you miss a day, guess what? Don't worry. start over at day 1 of week 3. Once you've reached 7 days, move on to week 4. Turn on your heart light. Heart opening meditation. Sit comfortably and imagine a circle of light encompassing the space where your heart is. With each inhale, the light gets a tiny bit brighter, and with each exhale, it gets a tiny bit bigger, as if you are a living solar energy panel. Do this for 6 minutes, or until you need a stronger pair of sunglasses, you bright shining light. Helpful hint. Don't think so much about getting it right, or think too much about what you are doing. Remember, you're just breathing. After sitting, take a moment and write down what you experienced or didn't experience in a notebook with a time and date. Sit for 7 days straight, but if you miss a day, start over at day 1 of week 4. Once you reach 7 days, move on to week 5. Good vibrations. Bop, bop. Mantra meditation. Breathe in and gently say the word Sat, S-A-T. And breathe out on the word Nam, N-A-M. Or I am. Or Om, Om. Or your mama. Or really any 2 words that work for you. The key with a mantra is that when you notice that you are no longer saying it, your mind has wandered, and it's time to get back to saying the mantra. Helpful hint. Find a word or words that resonate with you. You might have to try a few before finding one that works for you. After your 8 minutes a day, write down what you experienced or didn't with the time and date. Do this for 7 days straight. If you miss a day, start over at day 1 of week 5. Once you hit 7 days, let's move on to week 6. Sounds of silence. Don't look now, but we're already up to 10 minutes a day. Daily sound meditation. Listen to all of the sounds around you, even if you think there aren't any. Sirens, traffic, city noise, the hum of the air conditioner, or your cat breathing. Quiet down and listen. Really listen. When you feel your mind wandering, come back and listen to all the sounds around you. Observe with your ears. When you stop hearing things, you've drifted, so get back to the sounds. Helpful hint. Try to focus on one sound. After sitting for 10 minutes, take a moment to write down what you experienced or didn't, with the time and date. Sit like this for 7 days straight, and if you miss a day, start over at day 1 of week 6. Once you've reached 7 days, move on to week 7. I can see clearly now. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Visual meditation. Sit with your eyes open and focus on one object in the room. As you study said object, really pay attention to the details. When you notice that you are no longer focusing on it, that means your mind has wandered. Bring your attention back to the object. Helpful hint. We like to use flowers as the object for this meditation because nature never gets old. After sitting like this, for 15 minutes, write down what you experienced or didn't with the time and date. Do this for 7 days straight. If you miss a day, you're fired. Just kidding. If you miss a day, no worries. Start over at day 1 of week 7. Once you reach 7 days in a row, move on to week 8. Bring it on. 20 minutes a day. Open awareness meditation. Sit and allow whatever comes up to come up. Thoughts, sounds, smells, feelings, songs. You may have guessed this one happens to me quite a lot. Yawns, poems, or knock-knock jokes. Let whatever it is rise up and then let it go when you notice something else come in. If your attention drifts, use any of the tools from weeks 1 through 7 to bring you back. Helpful hint. We love the idea of a meditation buddy. That's why we meditate together. Consider asking a friend to join you in this endeavor. It makes it more fun and way easier to show up. Sounds like an accountability buddy to me. After sitting, take a moment to write down what you experienced or didn't in a notebook with the time and date. Sit for 7 days straight. But if you miss a day, start over at day 1 of week 8. Once you reach 7 days in a row, congratulations! Now you've got skills. Bravo! Remember though, even if this 8-week plan takes you 18 weeks or 80 weeks, it's a great way to get a practice started. I love this idea of 8 weeks, and I love that each week is something different, because I don't know about you, but I tend to get bored with things that are the same over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I've even noticed that when I meditate with my coach. I do 4 different types of meditation with him, and I'm really glad, because each time I think I'm starting to get bored with one type, whether it's a breathing exercise or a visualization that we've done a couple of times before, he comes at me with something different, and it's very engaging. So don't get too frustrated if you get bored around day 3 or even day 2 of the same week. Just remind yourself that that week is going to end shortly, and you'll move on to something else, and that one might be easier. Thank you so much for joining me. As always on Monday, we are going to end with a meditation together so that you can start your practice. I am going to put 3 minutes on the clock. I'm going to try and share the clock. New tech, yay! And we're just going to sit in silence. So maybe we'll flip back to week 1 and we will count our breath. We're going to set that timer for 3 minutes because that's what we're doing today. We're training, we're not competing. It's not who can go the longest or keep their mind the quietest. It's simply observing your breath. So here is our clock down in the corner. Make yourself comfortable. If you would like, close your eyes, and I will see you back here in 3 minutes. allow the next exhale to relax your body just a little bit more. See if you can actually feel the breath enter your nostrils. If you're holding any tension, try to send the breath to that spot in your body. Halfway there. If your mind took a day trip, invite it back to watch the breath. Ever so slightly, tuck your chin down, elongate the back of your neck, so there's a straight column for that air to come in your nose, down to your groin. And your next exhale, let go of the practice and congratulate yourself because you just meditated for 3 minutes. And if that isn't the start of a habit, I don't know what is. I will see you back here next Monday, where we will get into some deeper tips and tricks about the 8-week practice. And yes, I'm calling it an 8-week practice because even though it might take us all a bit longer than 8 weeks to actually reach those goals that we have set for ourselves, it's a good goal to have. So join me next week. Also, if you would like, on Sundays at 11 Central, Interdependent Study is currently reading a book called Presence, and the chapter we are on is all about breath. Might be a useful little addition to your toolkit. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, let's be independent together.